should have never sat Mark Breland. You should have sat that Deas man who's around you, right? That Deas, he's the person that should have gone. He was the person who was trying to throw Mark Breland under the bus. Mark Breland, former world amateur champion, Olympic gold medalist in 1984, right? On the time where you had great guys, Evander Holyfield, Mergic Taylor, Tyrell Biggs, Bernard Whitaker. You had great men on that team, and he was like the star of that Olympic team. And these guys are turning around and saying like, oh well, we don't do things like that. We don't throw in a towel. Mark Breland prolonged Deontay Wilder's career by doing that act. He prolonged, because you was getting a beating. No, you didn't even win a round in that fight. You were comprehensively beaten. You were taken to school. It was embarrassing. That's as cool as it is. It was embarrassing. And I'm not knocking Deontay Wilder because it's a great accomplishment. You was in your 11th world title defense. But then now we can turn around and say, well, within those fights, who did you really fight? Who did you really fight?
Okay. Those are the words from Spencer Fearon. And he gave his take on the whole JD's Mark Breland thing. You know, of course, Mark Breland has been criticized by Deontay himself and by Deas for throwing in the towel. We know that historic night now, February 22nd, Deontay Wilder took his first loss due to a towel thrown into the ring. And as Spencer was saying, like, hey, you know, he prolonged his career. Okay? Let's say this. Let's look at it this way. For all the accusations that are thrown around, we know them all. Okay? Pick one. If all of them were true, if any of them were true, that means Deontay Wilder shouldn't have been in the ring anyway. See, the strange thing about Wilder and his fans, they were mad because the fight, well, Wilder was mad because the fight was stopped. That's his thing. His fans were saying, well, Tyson Fury cheated. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, hey, okay, your fans are saying you were cheated, but then you're saying the fight shouldn't have been stopped. So what you're saying is that you're not saying that they're wrong, so you by default are agreeing with what they're saying, or until you approve otherwise, right? So that means you were okay with getting hit with some weird object, or you were okay with being cheated. That's what you're saying. Because see, the credit still belongs to Mark Breland, not JD's. Okay, and I have another special video about JD's coming later on today, and I'm going to share with you guys. But in this situation with Spencer Fearon, as far as Mark Breland, he's saying that JD should be sacked. Okay? Not Mark Breland. Mark Breland did what he already knew instinctively what to do. The man knows boxing, not JD's. JD's was, why do you think someone has a dual title? Because he's not good at one particular thing. You know, jack of all trades, master of none, that type of situation with JD's, okay? Mark Breland was one of the most renowned gold Olympian amateur fighters ever, okay, in the U.S. So he knew, okay, this guy has no chance of winning. Why are we doing this to this guy? Damn his pride, damn his ego, damn his fan base. Because at the end of the day, that man has 7 children or 8 he has to take care of. How can he take care of him when somebody didn't beat him to death in the ring? Or you end up like Superman Stevenson. God bless him. He's still alive, but he ate the same way he came in that ring. Okay? So why are we doing that? So Spencer Fearon, you know, knows boxing. He was a former boxer. And he knows that Deontay Wilder, with what he had that night, couldn't beat Tyson Fury. That's it. And it hurts people to their soul that they are believing lies at this point. They are believing that shit. You know, the tampered glove, this, that, and the other. He had to be cheating. He was on PEDs. Deontay Wilder was drugged. We heard them all, people. Okay, but the fact of the matter is he got beat. And let me throw something else in there, okay, to make everyone feel better about Mark Breland. If it wasn't going to be Mark Breland, it would have been Kenny Bayless. He said he would have stopped the fight himself. Now, I don't know how true that is because, I mean, he did deduct a point from Tyson Fury out of nowhere. You know what I mean? But he did say he was going to deduct points. Fair play, but come on. A lot of referees say that without doing it. You know what I mean? The very next time, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. Right? So, but even he said that he was going to throw in the towel. And even if he wasn't going to throw in the towel and he was just saying that for shits and giggles, he had to say that because he knew, he was convinced enough to know Deontay Wilder was getting beat to the point that he should have thrown in the towel if he wouldn't have ever thrown in the towel. You see what I'm saying? So that validates what was going on in the ring. And Tyson Fury was giving Deontay Wilder a beating. We can't change that, okay? We can't turn back the hands of time. That it is what it is. Okay? So Spencer Fearon is right. He's absolutely right. Mark Breland should be praised. Mark Breland shouldn't go anywhere. Okay? So let's hope he's there. Let's hope that is just a rumor and not fact. Because he's starting to talk about snakes in his grass. The only person he complained about was Mark Breland. There was no one else that he was complaining about in his camp. Okay? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Spencer Fearon's comments. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.